Hey friends, it's Kimberly here with Specialty Care Management, and just wanted to introduce you to myself and to Specialty Care Management, so that you know a little bit about who we are and how we can help you help your groups and your members. So, as I said, my name's Kimberly. I have been in healthcare for many, many years. I've been a nurse for over 20 years, and probably the last decade, I've spent really honing in on um, cost savings, in particular for kidney disease. And here at Specialty Care Management, our whole reason for being and our existence in the marketplace is truly to take a steward's approach to how we have a responsibility to help put the brakes on medical inflation, which, as many of us know here, it's the way that we're going, it's not sustainable. So what we look to do is we look to take the bite and the sting out of those high cost catastrophic claims, those top three for ever since I can remember: cancer, heart disease, and end-stage renal disease or kidney disease. And in particular, what I'll talk the most about today is kidney disease. But what we want to do is really bring appropriateness back into the marketplace for especially for those high cost catastrophic claims. And I would say, since its inception in 2002, our dialysis programs are really unique in the marketplace. And since that time, we've been able to maintain 100% of the discounts that we've obtained, which are almost 78%, or 77.5% to be specific. What's unique about our approach to, and is particularly to dialysis, is that, and you've probably seen some of those claims, in my mind, they're largely predatory. We see some of those charges, they come in anywhere from a few $100,000 a year to a few $1,000,000 a year. And for many groups, and that'll shut them down. That'll shut down companies. When they have a member or two go to dialysis, it's truly catastrophic, and not just for that employer, but all those families involved with that employer. And what I've seen out there in my career is most of the cost containment strategies, which we don't necessarily, you won't hear us describe ourselves as a cost containment kind of company. We consider ourselves to offer much more broad spectrum risk mitigation than just your typical cost containment strategy. But the milieu, or what's out there in the marketplace, is largely a discount driven paradigm where we have some kind of a negotiated discount off of an arbitrary bill charge. And what we found was, when we sat around the table, we looked at what are the real pain points in this area, and it's that arbitrary bill charge. They hurt. They're random. They're wildly labile. No rhyme or reason why, one person's dialysis will come in at a couple $100,000 and another one will come in at $2 million, right? And it's largely monopolistic, which is probably why we've gotten to that place. Our approach is so different. And just to illustrate the difference, typically you'll see what's offered out there is, let's just say you had a member who had a dialysis claim come in at a couple $1,000,000 for the year. What you'll find out there in terms of cost containment is, let's just say you've got a killer discount, 50% discount. That still hurts. $1,000,000, and then you tack on a 20% of that savings for our administrative fee. The bottom line is it's inappropriate. So what we want to do in taking the sting out is we want to bring an appropriateness back to how we're billing for and how we're paying for some of those services. So instead of a top-down approach from a bill charge perspective, we will build an underwritten flat case rate, a bottom-up approach that's really unique in the marketplace. The cool thing is, besides that killer savings, those first dollar savings are definitely there. But because there are no fees to implement, it makes it really easy for groups to put us in play preemptively. And the nurse in me, I'll tell you, that's the way to go, right? Is to not have a fire in the first place. A lot of times we'll get calls when we have a member go to dialysis, like a fire, right? And we'll go put out the fire. But wouldn't it be better not to have a fire in the first place? So what we're seeing sometimes is carriers may write a 2 to 6% rate credit just because they know that we're in place before we're needed, because we bring this, instead of this wildly labile and unpredictable nature, we bring a flat, fixed case rate. It's large, it's predictable, it's agreed on up front. It's a flat, fixed case rate. I've never seen it anywhere else. It's very unique in the marketplace and value driven. And what it does, it really demonstrates our commitment and our value of bringing appropriateness into how we bill for dialysis. And of course, that's just a very high level overview. Happy to discuss it with you further, get into the weeds. But a couple of other programs that we have, just to highlight just a few. One of my favorite programs, especially where we're put into place preemptively for a group that really wants to mitigate their risk, I would always suggest our Health Reach 360 program, which really looks to find those folks upstream before they even have a diagnosis of kidney disease, would be my preference, right? Here's the secret. Kidney disease is largely preventable. Diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those are the main things, diabetes being number one. Those are the main things that are going to kill your kidneys. And it happens slowly and insidiously. And shamefully, most people never hear anything about it until they have a diagnosis. And often they're not diagnosed until they're in the late stages of kidney disease, which is shameful. So our emerging risk, or our Health Reach 360 program, looks to aggressively mine for those folks. Who is sleeping? Who's an emerging risk for dialysis or for kidney disease? How can we catch those folks and either help them slow down their progression to ESRD, or how can we mitigate that? How can we prevent them from having a diagnosis in the first place? In my mind, that's where you can really capitalize on the most savings. There's so many benefits to that program. It's a very affordable, very cost-effective program. And on average, just to share some statistics with you, after 12 months, we've demonstrated an average cost savings of over $3,496 per participant within that program. And through that program, we close an average of about 5 care gaps, which is pretty incredible. Love, love, love that program. Another one that's popular, and again, reflective of where do we find the sting, if you will, in healthcare and cancer. Crazy. I read a study just today here. We're expecting over almost 2 million new cancer cases in the U.S. this year. Over 40% of men in the U.S. will at some point experience some kind of invasive cancer diagnosis in their lives. That's pretty significant. And especially when you consider, the drug costs alone for cancer treatment. Oftentimes we're seeing drug charges over $100,000 a month, which again, very, very predatory. So we want to bring value with our certified oncology case management program. So these are specialty case management programs, and in general, our cancer program has a return on the investment over 4 to 1. A very fantastic program. Another one that's really popular, especially in the Northwest, where I hail from, is our air ambulance program. This is a physician-driven program that really seeks to make sure that the service that was provided is appropriate, where the person was taken from is appropriate, and so a nurse, a physician, peer-to-peer relationship will take place in a thorough review to help capitalize on those savings. We also own a transplant network, which is pretty significant, and a COVID-19 return to work program, which is really important, not just in terms of making sure that an employer is providing for safety in the workforce, but also to help boost employee confidence in being able to return to work. I was just on a webinar today, in fact, where we talked about how so many American workers really express a lot of anxiety in returning to work. Having a COVID-19 program in place can really help to boost employee confidence, which also helps to improve your productivity in the workplace. At any rate, just a few of our programs. I would be tickled pink to take you through a robust tour of who specialty care management is and our programs, don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime. Thanks so much. Make it a great day. Bye.